Hey guys, Shadow the Rat, and for today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can treat your rats for parasites. Now, I've done a few formal videos on this where I kind of talk over different options for treatments and just go into more detail. So this video here is going to be a lot more informal. I'm basically just going to be walking you through doing it with my own rats. And the reason I'm treating them is because, unfortunately, I've lost quite a few of my older rats recently, which has nothing to do with parasites. Don't get concerned about that. But the losses themselves are quite stressful. And all rats carry a natural fur mite population. It's too small to see with your eyes, and their own immune system will take care of it. So you won't really see it, and it won't really bother them for the most part. However, if they get stressed because they're pretty old, like Olive here, or because they lost a lot of cage mates, or because whatever's going on in their life is, a little stressful. A lot of things can cause a bit of stress, like, rehoming and so forth. Then their immune system might be a bit lowered and not as effective as usual, which can cause them to have an upsurge in mites. And that can start to cause them to itch and develop skin irritations and so forth because their immune system isn't really keeping up anymore. So what you want to do in those cases is just go ahead and treat all the rats for parasites. Because that way you can prevent any situation where suddenly they're all developing parasites at different points. Because if you treat one rat and you don't treat the others, then their mites actually can hop on to the other rats. So you want to avoid that and just treat everyone all at once. Even if they're not living together, you want to treat every rat in the room because they can travel in any play area or on shared items or so forth. So it's just better to treat everyone. Anyways, there's a few different treatments, and I'm going to go ahead and link my video that's kind of a more formal walkthrough on, parasite signs and how to treat them and so forth down below in the description. However, in this video, I'm going to be using Revolution, which is my favorite parasite treatment, and that's because it is the most effective and safest treatment for rats. So you want to get either Revolution for cats or Revolution for kittens and puppies. They have the exact same dosing and concentration. However, the cat tubes have 0.75 milliliters in each one, and the puppy kitten ones only have 0.25 milliliters in each one. Now, both of them often cost about the same amount. So if you have a lot of rats, the better deal is often the cat one. However, unfortunately, I have not been able to find the cat one recently, so I've been using the kitten puppy one. And I order it from CanadaPetCare.com, which is an online site that sells some of these medications. And I live in the US where this is a prescription-only medication, so I would not be able to get it over the counter otherwise. However, ordering it from the site does get you the legit medicine, so I find it to be worth it because it's just a lot cheaper to treat it yourself at home, and ultimately it's very easy to treat at home, so it's just not worth the stress of going to the vet for it for me. Although I completely understand going, especially your first or second time dealing with parasites. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and start treatment. It's very easy. All you have to do is open up your little box, and there'll be a few of these little containers like this. There's usually 3 of them, and I've already used 2 in this packet, so I only have 1 left. And then all you do is you go ahead and cut off the top here. It actually has a little thing you can rip, but usually I just cut off the top. And then you can see this is the medication. It's right in here. Ms. Olive is like, what the heck are you doing? Then you just open it. There's a little lid. And then at this point, you need one of these little push pins. So you can see I have a little push pin here. And you're just going to take the push pin and push it right here into the center, just to create one little hole where the medication can come out of. So there is actually a formula to dose your rats specifically with Revolution. However, it is extremely safe and pretty much impossible to overdose them with. I mean, I had a vet in the past who literally used an entire vial per rat on some rats that were barely 4 weeks old. I mean, they were literally 35 grams each. I have no idea what the vet was thinking, but that just shows you how safe it is because you can dump an entire vial on them and they will be completely fine. But the general dosing is 1 drop per pound of rat, and as soon as you go over a pound, you add another drop. So if you have a rat that's a pound or less, do 1 drop. If they're between 1 to 2 pounds, you do 2 drops. If they're between 2 to 3 pounds, you do 3 drops, and so forth. Although I've never seen a rat over 3 pounds, so, you're probably not going to be using that much. And this little vial here can treat a lot of rats. Now, if you're more comfortable with the specific dosing, I do have all of that information on my rat care website, so I will have that link down below in the description as well, if you would like to see it. Anyways, to start treating your rats, all you need to do once you've opened this up and use your little push pin is just get your rat in your hand, and you just want to part the fur on their neck like this, and then go ahead and put this down and then squeeze out 1 little drop. So it's a little bit difficult when they're moving around like Olive here, but you can see I'm just squeezing out 1 drop. And that's it. And you're just going to see a little wet spot, and it's going to smell like alcohol, but that is completely normal. Now, it is worth noting that it only takes about 30 seconds to dry, so you just need to distract your rat after that for like 30 seconds, and after that you can put them back with their cage mates. Now, it's completely normal for them to want to groom it, and it is completely safe for them to ingest. However, it's only effective if most of it gets absorbed, so you do want to make sure that most of it is getting absorbed, which is why you want to distract them for like 30 seconds first to ensure that most of it is absorbed before you put them back with their cage mates. So I've gone ahead and dosed Olive, so now I'm going to go ahead and dose the rest of my rats. So here is Blueberry, and we're going to do the same thing. See, just a little wet spot. Just distract her for a little bit. And once it's dried, I'm just going to pop her back in there with her cage mates. That's right. So it's a pretty simple process. You just repeat this for all your rats, and after you're done, they are going to be covered for the next month. However, if you're dealing with a really bad infestation of mites or whatever parasite you're dealing with, you will want to treat them again after 2 weeks because sometimes one treatment isn't enough. So I'm going to put Blueberry back and get the next one out. So here you can see one of my dwarf rats. Again, she's just going to get 1 drop. Easy. There we go. And here's my other dwarf rat, Butter, or one of my other dwarf rats. Again, just 1 treatment. And little drop on their neck, and then you put them back. Butter, where are you going? Now here's where it gets interesting. This is my little necky girl, Tofu. And you might think that you don't need to treat your hairless rats, and that is unfortunately not true. Even though they cannot have mites naturally living on them, well, except for in their furred areas, and Tofu does have a little bit of fur around her nose. But even if you have a rat that's completely bald, they can still have mites bite them if they live with any furred cage mates or if they live in the room with any furred rats. So you will want to still treat them if any of the other rats are showing symptoms of parasites. So I'm going to go ahead and treat Tofu in the same way. Whoops. She's a little bit more wily. She's like, what did you do to me? What did you do? I'm cute. Then my little werewolf girl, Raisin, also gets treatment, even though she doesn't really have any fur on that area right now. There she is. And my little Siamese bean, Miss Popcorn. She is very wiggly. See right there. And finally, my last little rat is my little girl Tater Tot here, who is also a dwarf, albeit a little bit of a chunky one. Okay, so that is all the rats treated. I'm going to go ahead and put Tater Tot up, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You don't have to worry about parasites after this for the next month. And like I mentioned, you can treat again in 2 weeks if you're dealing with a particularly bad case, but these girls have a very mild case, and I'm only really seeing some symptoms in my older girl, Olive, so I'm probably not going to need to treat them again in 2 weeks. They should be good after this. So yeah, I hope this video was useful. If you have any medication left, like I do, you can just put on the cap, and then put this in here, and store it at room temperature, and you're fine to use it again in the future. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!